What is going on, everybody? What's going on? We're about to get started. I'm going to also bring on.
Yes. Hello, everyone.
Hey, what's up?
I was
All right,
just.
so
Yeah,
Umzie, what's up? So, what's your name?
Umar.
Umar. Yeah, so it's been a long time coming, man. We've been trying to get you on to do the session, a couple different times, but we normally do them later in the evening. So I know you're over in the UK. So yeah, it's good to have you on and to finally connect on here.
Yeah, finally. And yeah, pleasure to be on as well. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so tell the people, a little bit of backdrop of kind of who you are, where you're from before we get into it.
Yeah. So my name's Umar. I'm from London, born and bred in London. Lived there my whole life. Been trading for about 3+ years now, I'd say. And yeah, been with TFT since I'd say around August, September time last year.
Now, how did you originally find TFT?
That's a good question. I actually have to think about this. How did I find TFT? It must have been on Instagram or something like that. Because I was already funded with some other prop firms previous to joining TFT, and then I just sort of got engaged, joined the Discord, saw what the community was like, and I said, yeah, this is the sort of place I want to be.
Yeah, no, so it sounds like you said you started trading what, 3 years ago?
Yeah, like the first time I ever placed a trade was just over 3 years ago. Yeah.
And if you don't mind me asking, how old are you?
I'm 29 now. 29.
All right, so you started 26. So when going back to when you first started, like what originally got you into all this? Like you just saw people on Instagram making money, or was it something else?
Not so much that. Initially, when I found out about Forex, it was probably about 5 years ago, and I just saw it as a scam, like because of obviously what was online, right?
Mhm.
And then 2 years later, one of my friends was trading for a couple of years, and he became a millionaire, and I was just like, whoa, wait a second, what's going on here? And then I started dabbling into it around that time when I saw that he actually made real money and big money. So I was like, yep, this is me. I don't care. I'm gonna make it happen somehow.
Yeah, no, I think that a lot of people they either find it on Instagram, right, and they just follow random people, or it's like one of their buddies. I know in London, it's a bit, or the UK, it's kind of a bit more popular
Yeah.
to do Forex trading and everything like that. I mean, why do you think that's the case?
I guess London's probably just one of the hubs for making money, right? And just for business in general. If you look back at the history and everything as well. So, and I think, with London, there's a lot of a diverse community and everyone just wants to make money. So whether it's a different type of business or whether it is Forex trading, people are going to be interested regardless, right?
Yeah, I mean, Forex trading by no means is easy, right? It's one of the hardest ways to make money, but
100%,
there's
100%.
obviously a ton of potential to make some money. So with you, what are you mainly trading? You trading FX, commodities, indexes? What do you trade?
Yeah, so I usually just trade US 30 and GBP AUD. Those are my two main pairs that I trade.
Now, in trading these pairs, like, would you say you're a swing trader, intraday, scalper?
Yeah. So when I actually started, being a lot more active 3 years ago, I'd say I was trying to be a swing trader, and I was. The market was really good for swinging initially. I was catching like 500 pips, 800 pips on GBP AUD. And I used to trade gold back then actually as well. I've only been trading US 30 for about a year, I'd say, if not less than that. But it's become, my most lucrative pair, and yeah, like I love trading US 30 to be honest.
Yeah, it's funny. Around a year ago is when US 30 became super popular amongst like all the trading online trading community.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of funny. I mean, a lot of people, it seems, have made a lot of money with US 30. From what we see, people make more money with indexes than Forex, like especially the minor pairs. People really struggle with them. Um, so I just think overall, like a lot of people are switching to trading indexes. I know crypto for a little while became like pretty popular. but that's kind of fallen off at least for now. But
Yeah.
yeah, it seems indexes are pretty popular. So right now, are you currently have a funded account right now?
Yeah, yeah. So I've actually got a few with different firms, but with TFT, I got scaled up recently from a 200K to 250. So I have that. And today, funny enough, I actually passed phase one on the 400K as well with you guys. So
That's fire. Let's go.
yeah, literally an hour ago.
So
So
so there's obviously a lot of people in here that are struggling to, pass challenges, become profitable, everything like that. What is your advice to these people, right? Like you just passed the 400K, you have the 200K, what's kind of the feedback to people that are really struggling?
yeah, honestly, when it comes to going for a challenge and getting funded, I'd say one of the most important things, and it's easy to say these things, but of course you need to really execute these interactions, right? So one of the main things being, I'd say, being patient. Nobody has patience in this game, in this industry, and that's a fact, right? The people that
Right.
lose have no patience. They're always over trading, over risking, margin calls, etc. Right? Whereas the real funded traders are happy with 1, 2 to 4% a month, as a minimum. Like I'm happy with that. Yeah, there may be a month I hit 10%, but fantastic. But I've stuck to my rules, right? So I'd say patience, discipline. Without discipline, you're not making it to your first payout, let alone getting a funded account in the first place, right?
No, I agree. It's like anything. We've talked about this so many times. I mean, any business that you're going to start, it's going to take putting together the right plan. It's going to take a lot of patience. Ultimately, there's going to be a lot of kind of failure. Like so you've been trading for 3 years. Obviously, now you're profitable, or at least you've had some success. Um, what has been, I mean, what has the journey been like for you? Like, where did you start learning to trade? Like, did you buy courses? Like, where did it all begin?
Yeah, so I think when I first started out, I made a lot of bad decisions. In terms of when I first started, I tried to get someone to manage my account and all of that rubbish, right? I had no clue how to actually trade until I really studied hard. But in terms of buying people's courses and following people, I'll be honest, I didn't really buy a course and I didn't really follow a particular course. What I did do though was, of course, navigate to different sort of people on Instagram, just seeing what they're doing. And then I used babypips.com, if I'm honest with you, to really build my foundation to understand what Forex was, right? And it's a free service, so I'd recommend that to everyone. Just go on babypips.com to really understand what is Forex as a base foundation, right? But just along the journey, I'd say it was more trial and error, if anything, for me. And I think that's why it's taken me 3+ years to be sort of in the place I am now. That being said, if somebody followed someone's course, I'm not going to name any names, but if you followed someone's course and you learn a lot quicker, that may be just dependent on your personality. Because in trading, personality is key into how you actually trade, and people tend to forget this, right?
Yeah, I think it's everything, right? I mean, if you can't, this is my thing is if you buy a course and you're trying to just imitate someone else without having that introspection, that reflection, the decision making to obviously like make your own decisions, right? You're really going to stunt the growth. You're going to stunt the potential for you to learn and to become a good trader because you're just trying to copy someone else, right? So I think a lot of people like buy courses and they just do exactly what the course says and they don't think for themselves and they wonder why they're in a trade they can't hold, the trade, or they get really nervous, or they can't enter, or they can't scale in, or can't remain consistent over a month taking the same setups. Um, so it sounds like early on you were just like, fuck it, I'm gonna do this trial and error approach and I'm going to learn all these hard lessons so I gain this experience so I can have this like more confidence ultimately in what I'm doing. Um, and it seems to work out for you. Like looking back, I mean, it's 3 years in. Is there anything you could have done differently to kind of have success more quickly?
Yeah, I think that's a good question. Yeah, I
Million
think
dollar question.
I think yeah, to start with, I probably would have not tried to get somebody to trade with me. That's for starters, right? Because I already lost money doing that, which was very stupid. And I know a lot of people do this when they start, in trading, right? But also, I don't know, like I honestly feel as if you have a real mentor, and by that I don't mean these fake gurus that you see online, which is probably about 90% of them, if we be honest, right?
Mhm.
If you can find a real mentor that will really try to teach you, because just going back to your point, Angelo, in terms of, there's not a blueprint to trading. There isn't. Let's just be real. There's not. You can't just buy someone's course and then think that, okay, you're going to be able to trade now, because that's just not how it works, right? Everyone's journey is different. Everyone is at different stages in their journey. Mindset is very important. My mindset has shifted from 3 years ago till now immensely, and trading teaches you a lot about yourself as an individual. So if you're a very strong person mentally inside, I feel like you eventually will make it. There's just not a timeline. It could be 1 year. I know people that have, making a lot of money after 1 year of trading. But then I know people that have been trading 5 years and then become profitable. It really depends on the individual.
Yeah, let's talk about mindset. So obviously you have the accounts, right? You said you had other prop firm accounts. What's the total amount of accounts that you have?
Currently, as it stands, I have 550K in funding, and then if I pass that 400K phase two, that will be nearly 1 million. So yeah,
I mean, that's wild.
the goal
Yeah.
the goal was to have 1 million by the end of the year, and we're in March, so it's looking good.
Yeah. So considering, you're on here, you got 1 million in funding from these prop firms. What do you tell people, right? Like, do you talk to other people about what's going on with this stuff? Like, what do people say, right? Like, what's the talk with your mates and your buddies and everything?
What, in terms of me having that funding, or?
Yeah, just in terms of like what you're doing. Like, it's like, do you tell them like, oh, I'm funded with $1 million, and they're like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, what do they think?
To be honest, a lot of my friends, I don't really try to talk about my trading, because I still have a job as well, right? Like, I'm in sales, I'm in pre-sales. So they always focus on that job, and I don't give a shit about the job, but it keeps me busy, right?
Right.
And it's a good way to network. And I believe sales is a very good skill to acquire and gain experience, and especially in trading, because like, yourself, when you start networking around, you can build good partnerships, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, it really depends. A few of my friends know what I do. The rest of them, I don't really tell them about the trading aspect unless they find out. But yeah, there are a lot of people that are deluded. So even, for example, in my own family, right, I try not to tell them about trading, because when they hear like, oh, I made 20K this month, they're like, what the fuck are you talking about? And they're getting like a salary of like 2K, and they're like, what are you? Oh, you're a liar. Oh, no. And I'm just like, well, actually, I don't need to prove anything to anyone, so I don't really give a fuck. But yeah.
They're like, oh, you're selling drugs now?
Literally, they're like, which cocaine, where you going, Colombia, what you doing, so.
Oh my God. Yeah. No, I listen, I mean, it's when you really think about it, it's a completely online opportunity, completely remote opportunity
Yeah.
where you don't have to, like, I don't know if you trade from your house wherever, but you don't really have to leave your house. I do recommend you trade from a computer, not a phone. I know a lot of people trade from their phone. I just don't think it's realistic. But that's just me. But yeah, I think that when you talk about this opportunity, like even me, like I'm like, oh, I'm a business owner of an online business. I obviously was trading originally, and I don't really need to go anywhere or like, do anything. And people are just like, how is that even real? You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of I feel like there's a disconnect between people that are in the industry, outside of the industry. It's like hard to explain to them exactly what's going on. I mean, the skills that you have are a really high level. I mean, the analysis that you're doing, the self reflection that you're doing, the mindset. It's a new level that you're kind of performing at. So yeah, I just want to commend you and obviously anyone out there and anyone striving to be at the level that Omar is at. Like it is not easy at the end of the day.
100%, 100%. And, I can just add to that as well. In trading, psychology is so important. Like, I can't emphasize enough how important psychology is. For me, it's pretty much 80% psychology, 20% trading or technicals, because anyone can analyze a chart. Let's be real, anyone can. Probably my grandma could analyze a chart if she knew how to use a laptop, right?
Oh
But
my God.
but the psychology piece, that's all mindset, and I think experience and sort of testament to how tough you are as an individual, right? Like, I know people that have been brought up being spoiled and they can't trade for shit. Like, they just gamble their money and they don't care, right? They're like, oh, I flipped an account, fantastic. Whereas I know people that have come from almost being homeless, literally, to making six figures plus.
Nuts. And I see you murmuring over there. Do you want to say anything?
It's very interesting what you're talking about. And I think that a really huge role here is self-awareness. The difference between the account flippers that are that claim that they are good traders and they do make profits, but they blow their accounts after a while, is that they are not very self-aware. But I can see that you're very self-aware, and that's why you have reached that level where you are at the moment after just 3 years, which is not long time at all, in my opinion.
So
Yeah, 100%.
I was listening to this podcast yesterday, and it was talking about self-awareness, and it was talking about how even though someone could be telling you exactly what you need to be hearing or exactly what you're lacking, until you accept or open yourself up to that feedback, you're just going to continue to be unaware, or you're going to continue to not accept that you need to change. So like, what, in your opinion, Anna, in your opinion, Omar, like, what causes people to become more self-aware and to like start to really consider like what the fuck is going on?
I think that experience. Yeah. You can just say first what you want to say.
No. Go ahead.
Yeah. I think that with experience, they have to like go through many hard situations, like blowing many accounts, in order to get this aha moment and like take a step back and start like looking at what they're doing and how their progress is going. Some people that journal have easily to recognize like this switch of like not being too aware of what you're doing to becoming aware of what you're doing and why you're like deviating from your trading plan and why you're disciplined during a specific period of time, and then all of a sudden one day you just go against all your rules. I think that some people just have it, but it's not something that you can practice and like gain, because it's like, as you said, I think you say Ume, right? Like you said, it's about mental strength, and mental strength is built through going out of our comfort zone. So the more you go out from the comfort zone, the more mental strength you gain. And with that, you become more like self-aware and you become more conscious about how things are changing. Some people can never reach that level of understanding, like to be self-aware and understand why certain things are happening. So for such kind of people, I think it's very important to have like rules and just follow the rules and just not think too much deeply about things. But people that are self-aware can improve much more like long term.
100%. And, I think that sort of comes down to accountability as well, doesn't it, Anna? In terms of self-awareness, but also accountability. And more than 90% of people in this industry do not want to be held accountable. Let's say if they blow an account, they'll blame someone else. And this is a prime example of why you should never take signals from anyone, because signals is a scam. If you want to learn how to trade, learn yourself, point blank,
And the problem is that with many people that are selling courses, they say that we have strategy for everyone, even though people should understand that everyone should create their own strategy. Yes, you can use the concepts of a mentor, but you have to adapt all those concepts according to your personality.
100%. And this is why, like I get so many messages where, oh, can you pass my challenge, please? Oh, do you have a course? Oh, do you do signals? And I say no to everything. I say no,
Mm.
no, no. I could probably, scam loads of people and make tons of money that way, but I have morals. And to be honest, I like trading for myself. I don't like scamming people,
Yeah.
So for me, it's just that, okay, if you want to learn how to trade,
Yeah.
I'll help you. You have to adapt. Everyone's journey is different. So when people ask me questions like, "Oh, can I learn how to trade like you?" and I'm like, "Well, probably not exactly like me, but I can help to tailor your journey for you in the best way possible once I see how you trade already or what you already know, what type of person you are." It's very key in everything that you do with your trading.
Yeah. And the funniest question is everyone is asking how long time did it take you to get there? Because they think that the time that has taken for you should take for them as well, which is like, okay, if I tell you that it took me like 6 months or a year to become profitable, it doesn't mean that you're gonna become profitable in a year. You
Yeah,
might get
literally.
profitable in 3 months, but it might take you 5 years, it might take you forever. You
Yeah.
might never become profitable.
Literally, and I get this question so many times, like, oh, so how long would it take for me to become a profitable trader? And I said it really depends on you. Like, I can help you, but it's down to you to put in the work. People don't want to put in the work, So if you don't put in the work, what do you expect's going to happen? What do you expect? You're not going to get the results that you want.
Yeah. And it's interesting. People have been also asking me, can you be my mentor? And I'm like, I use ICT constantly. It has like so many videos, everything that you have to know and you learn. You have it on YouTube for free. Why should I just like teach you when ICT is teaching the best way? And here I realized that they just want to have someone who is gonna like teach them like storytelling. But this is now how trading can be learned. You have to first learn some parts, then go to the charts, backtest, then try to first find your edge and then adapt it according to the personality you have.
Literally. And this is why, like, I don't have anything to say against ICT or anything, but I personally never looked into it, like, the whole stuff around it, because I see it as a cult. But that being said, I know a lot of people that make a lot of money and after following ICT, right?
Yeah.
For me, I just believe do what works for you. So personally, for me, the way I had to learn, as I said, was like trial and error, and then picking up things along the way, and then putting it together for myself. And it works for me. That doesn't mean
Yeah.
it'll work for someone else. The same way, if you follow ICT, it doesn't mean it's going to work for you. I have loads of people that come and message me, oh, do you trade ICT? Do you do SMC? Oh, I don't understand it. I did the course, I did this. And I'm like, well, then you need to figure out what works for you, right?
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, I've used other strategies and I've had good results with other strategies, but I felt most comfortable with some of the concepts that I combined from ICT. Many people think that I know everything about ICT and all concepts that he's teaching, but no, I don't know everything. I haven't watched whole mentorship course 2022, and people are like asking me questions from the mentorship and even from the mentorship 2023 that I have no answer for that. But you should understand that you don't need to know everything in order to become profitable, because becoming profitable is mostly related with the mindset you have, not with the strategy you're trading.
Honestly, it's all mindset. Like, I can't, fathom enough how much it is mindset. For me, I look at everything from a psychological perspective, and I tell this to people, but they can't comprehend what I'm saying because they're like, "Oh, but price went that way," and I was like, "Yeah, why do you think it went that way? What's happening right now in the news? Look at fundamentals, for example, you know." And then people tend to get confused, and then they get into a space where they say, "Oh, I don't understand anything." And that's when you should take a step back, but people aren't willing to take a step back and unlearn to relearn something because it's very important,
Yeah. What kind of strategy are you using? Would you like to share with us?
I mean, in terms of my strategy, it's just sort of, as you said, you have certain things you've put together and then you combine that with what you learn in ICT, right?
Mm.
For me, I'm a heavily psychology-based trader. That being said, of course, I have multiple confluences that I use, whenever I'm taking a trade. But I keep my trading very simple, and I tell this to a lot of people, right? So I literally follow price action. understanding price action is very important. One of the most basic things, but you'd be surprised. A lot of people don't even know how to read price action, right?
Yeah.
That's one thing. Also for me, supply and demand zones, that is something that I do use on my markups. I don't use it all the time, but I do use it. And of course, your basic support and resistance, all of that sort of stuff. But like I said, putting it all together, once you have enough experience to understand how the market moves, the way it moves, and to also understand that the market does what the market wants to do. You can never dictate the market 100%. And this is why when people predict things, I say don't predict, react. React to the market, because that's where you really make all your money. And I think that was the big learning curve for me, was when I stopped predicting and I started reacting more so, I became a lot more profitable.
Yeah. What did you struggle with the most?
Discipline and risk management, I'd say.
And how did you overcome the problem with the discipline?
I'd say by losing a lot of money when I started. That's one. Another would be just sort of the type of person I am in general, because trading taught me a lot about myself individually as well. And like I said, you have to be very strong, right? A strong mindset is a disciplined mindset. If you don't have a strong mindset, you will most likely, without being too mean, you'll most likely never be consistently profitable.
Yeah. And are you journaling your feelings?
I'm not.
You're not.
No, I'm not. And I know most people journal, and I think journaling is a great thing. I generally just don't have the time to journal. But I have a journal in my head, if that counts, but I don't actually journal on paper or on a spreadsheet or anything, no.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, it's something I've been looking at, to be honest, but I just don't know. Maybe when I stop actually working in sales, I might be bothered to do that when, you elevate your trading more. I don't know. But as of now, I don't really journal, no.
So you don't even journal your trades?
No, I journal more of how I was feeling after specific trades, and that's about it. Like, I don't spend too much time on it.
So just to butt in here. So Omar, some people are asking, they're joining late. They're like, who are you? So again, you've got a 200K account right now. You just scaled it up. You just passed a phase 1 400K?
Yeah, with TFT. Yeah.
Yep. And then have you gotten a payout recently? What payout have you gotten?
I mean, just with TFT?
Yeah. Yeah, just with TFT.
Over the last 2 months, I think I totaled over 20K.
Fire.
Yeah. So it's not too shabby, eh? Yeah.
Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad.
Yeah.
Now, I had a comment. So people, I think when it comes to psychology, one thing that is apparent to me is a lot of people are so worried about externally what people are going to think about what they're doing. To your point, Anna, like a lot of people are buying courses to be entertained, to like have an attachment to this actor or this guru or whatever, and like get feedback from them. And they're like, hey, I hit this trade. Did I do it right? Did I do this right? Or like people are so worried about externally what people think, right? So I personally believe that the transformation comes, like from a psychological perspective, comes from this separation from what people think to what do I think? And it's all just about this constant self-reflection on what you're doing, what motivates you, what's your purpose. Like literally nothing else matters. If you can center yourself and you can have a purpose and you can just only judge yourself, like you're only worried about yourself, you are going to live in a truth of who you actually are, and you're going to ultimately accomplish what you're trying to do. If you're so worried about, like if I was so worried right now about what are other prop firms doing, what are other people at my level doing, what is this doing, like I would just fail, right? I would just fail. But I'm so concerned with, okay, what actions am I taking? What's my routine? What's my way of going about making decisions? And ultimately, that's why I'm able to continue to build momentum. So that's just kind of my feedback. Is anyone out there that's right now, like you're just so worried about what other people think, like you got to just stop. Like you got to figure out a way to stop thinking like that. And you really got to just look in the mirror, look at yourself. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing right? What are you doing wrong? Who do you want to be? that's how you guys are going to get to becoming successful the way that you guys want. But curious, Omar and Anna, like your feedback around that idea.
There is one saying or quote from Dostoevsky, if someone has read it. If you're throwing stones to every dog that is barking at you, you will never reach the final destination. And that's exactly what you just said with everything. So we should not we should not pay attention to what people are telling to us and to try to explain ourselves to them or prove them if we're profitable or not, or if we're taking good trades or not, or if we are right or wrong, which is totally ridiculous because this is a probability game. It's not being right and wrong. Yeah, that's how we can definitely become better and profitable and reach our goal, short-term and long-term goals. But we definitely have to have a goal and we have to have a plan for this goal. Clear plans that are like split it into smaller milestones so that we won't have like crazy expectations that are going to just make us disappointed and make us give up. But we have to like have a final goal and then smaller goals and make a plan how to achieve that final goal by taking small steps.
100%. And just, agreeing with you as well, Anna, in terms of it's definitely a game of probabilities, right? Everything is about probabilities when it comes to your setups. But one thing I did want to add was that, I know you got some nice quotes. I don't really have nice quotes, but I just have a saying that I say to a lot of people, right? Do you want to be a sheep or do you want to be a lion? And by that, I mean, do you want to follow the herd or do you want to do do you want to be on your own, right? And when you're on your own, that's really when you discover things about yourself. As Angelo said, not caring about others, what they think. Because personally, me, I've never cared what anyone thinks of me, especially in the last 5-10 years. And in trading, if you care what other people think of you, then, you're already adding a detrimental effect to your overall progress and your growth, So when you do that self-reflection, you have that accountability and you're growing. The main thing in trading is if there's growth, you're doing something right. If there's no growth, you need to go back to the drawing board and understand what is going wrong.
Yeah, and I speak from experience. I've talked about this before on an AMA, but maybe Omar, you never worried about what other people thought, whatever. But I know there's a lot of people on here that do and that struggle with that. And I noticed myself. I mean, I'm 27 now, but I noticed when I was younger, when I was like in my teens, I definitely like had that insecurity, or I was worried about what other people thought. And what I realized was until I shedded that idea, I was always blaming other people, right? Like if something didn't go my way, it was always someone else's fault, right? And then at some point, I grew up a little bit and I had to look in the mirror when I really wasn't where I wanted to be. And that's when I started really just blaming myself. Like it was like, oh shit, like it's not this other person's fault. Like I'm in control of all of my decisions, who I put myself around, what I choose to listen to, what I choose to eat, what I choose to read, what career I choose to pursue. And once I came to that conclusion, from there on, it was almost like cutting butter with a knife. It was just, what is my goal? What are the actions I need to get there? Who are the people that I don't need involved in this journey that I'm on? And then just staying laser focused and disciplined on what that is. And then that ultimately, got me to my goal, made me successful to where I am now. There's a lot more that I obviously want to do. But yeah, I think just advice for anyone out there, like the millionaire mindset, guys. And I tell this to some of my buddies that reach out to me, is if you guys right now are broke, or you just don't have that much money, or maybe you have, some money and you're trying to work towards the goal of having 6 figures or having 7 figures, whatever, it is all just a mindset. It's literally, like you said, Omar, it's the decision that you're not going to be the victim. You're not going to be the sheep. You're going to be the lion, right? You're going to be the lioness. You're going to be the person who really takes action and holds yourself accountable. And the decision to do that can be made now, like while you don't have any money, whatever. The mindset should be established now, and you should believe that you're going to attain six figures, you're going to obtain funding, right? Like it's all psychological. Like even for me now, like I know with my mentality and my mindset that if I experienced extreme failure, that I would not only bounce back, but I would become even more successful than I am now. So it's really just a mindset, and like there's no secret, guys. It's just hard, really a lot of hard work, and a lot of self-reflection. So yeah, I just wanted to give that out there. We're starting up. I did a little giveaway. So if you guys haven't seen it yet, I posted, but there's like a million messages. Post a question in the chat. We're gonna try to do rapid fire. We do this kind of on the AMAs where we run through a bunch of questions that people post. So if you guys want to participate in the giveaway, post a question. One person's gonna win 100K, 10 people will win 10K challenges, and we'll go from there. But Omar, I mean, listen, you're pretty active in the Discord, right? Are you active in other Discord channels too, or is it just TFT?
I mean, I have my own free server as well, where I have people there and I try to, motivate them and just help them in general, like with the mindset stuff. So yeah, that's been growing like crazy since I started it in end of Jan. Already got like 250 people in it. So yeah, it's pretty decent. But yeah, I'm part of like other Discords, but I'm not active in those. If I'm active in any, it's probably only TFT, to be honest.
Now, what's your take on, like, trading is obviously a very individual task, and being in Discord, you're networking, you're meeting new people, you're sharing ideas. Like, what's your take on all that? Like, you're doing a lot of networking, it seems like, online, right? Like, why are you really doing that?
I think so. When I actually started my trading journey, it was a very, very lonely game, and I was completely lost, right? So one of the main reasons why I actually built out my own server was because I know there's many people that feel like that are in that stage of their journey. So I kind of wanted to help them and just to sort of guide them a little bit and let them know that, listen, there are other traders around that, you can look up to in a sense, or gain some knowledge from, some wisdom. And also at the same time, just understand that there is a community out there. There's good communities, there's bad communities. But it's important to also network, because you know that saying, network is your net worth, right? So it's a real thing. It's a real thing. Like I'll give you an example, right? So I went to Dubai in November, and Angelo, you might know this guy actually. He doesn't trade Forex, he trades options. His name's Andrew Aziz.
Yeah, I've heard of him.
Yeah, so I met him out in Dubai and we actually become friends. So it's just networking, literally. That's all it is. It's easy to talk to somebody. You don't have to pay somebody to talk to them. You can talk to anyone if they're willing, right? And that's how you network. And that's how you build partnerships. That's how you build friendships. It's important in life, in anything that you do, networking,
Yeah, and a hack to networking, guys, anyone that's in here, listen, you don't got to be an extrovert to network, right? It's business. So if you're trying to network, if you're trying to build relationships, the key is it's a two-way street, right? You got to offer something of value, like whether it's just listening to them or contributing an idea to them, or maybe you have a service or something that you can contribute to them, a network that you could even introduce them to, right? It's a two-way street here. So really everyone in the Discord, you should be utilizing this to meet other people, to help other people, to share ideas. If you focus on that, I promise you, you will make money somehow. Like you said, network is your net worth. Like I started 5 years ago just building a network on social media, on Discord, whatever. And the goal was just to meet other people, because me and at the time, Nick, were so bored, trying to trade by ourselves in our rooms, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, network is definitely big. Like Omar said, so anyone in here that's, not utilizing the Discord and not trying to meet other people, definitely do that as soon as possible.
And Angelo, I just wanted to add one more thing, if that's okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, and I just wanted to say, I wanted to commend you, in terms of the server you built out with TFT and the community you built out. I don't see anyone else in any of the, in the prop industry that's done that. I'm not going to name any other companies, but I'm part of their servers, and there's not a community like this, and there's not the CEO directly talking to everyone in that community, so I think it goes a long way, and I'm sure people definitely appreciate that, they can feel comfortable in a place like TFC.
Yeah, I mean, from my obviously, thanks for the sentiment. Like from my perspective, I just think that I'm doing something that I love to do. This idea that I came up with originally at the time. Obviously, there's everyone and their mothers coming out with a prop firm. By the time it was extremely early, and really all I wanted to do was be the connector, to find my edge, to find a way to help people monetize their skills, and just continue to build a community, because that's what I'm super passionate about. So obviously TFT has grown to a level that like not many besides myself thought that it could get to. And even now, my goal isn't necessarily to pass FTMO or whatever. Like my goal is just, there's, for example, 100 million people on TradingView looking at charts, right? There's 100 million website visits, and TFT has a million website visits, right? So it's like, how do we get to that level? Like, how do we create impact? How do we have an opportunity for people beyond the industry that currently exists? And that's why I'm super passionate about networking with like other influencers. Like people might know, I know a bunch of the other influencer dudes. I'm super passionate about networking with them because they can ultimately reach more people. Do I necessarily agree with some of the things that they're doing in regards to what they're selling and stuff like that? Obviously not. But at the end of the day, social media is marketing. Like people got to start to realize that social media is not real. Like social media is fabricated reality. People are showing you what they want you to see, what they want you to hear. So you got to take that with a grain of salt. I think a lot of people fall victim to like the guy with a Lambo. Like I see people in the chat, they're like, "Where does this guy have a Lambo?" It's like,
oh god,
you know what I'm saying? You guys, like my whole thing with the prop firm that I've realized is the biggest play is, and this isn't realized yet, but the biggest value that a prop firm has to this industry is it's legitimizing people like traders. Like there are tons of traders, there's hundreds of traders every single month, thousands of traders that are getting payouts from our company and other prop firms. And these are the leaders in the industry. These are the people that you guys want to be looking into for inspiration, potentially for guidance, for mentorship. They're third party verified trader. There are people that are actually making money, with the company. These gurus online, they just own the brokers. They show whatever they want to show you, and you guys think they're like fucking genies in a bottle, but it's all fabricated. So yeah, that's kind of my take on that. I know we've got AAK 977 on here as well. I'm not sure if you're still on here, and if you want to come on and chat, but we can start to open it up.
Yeah, I'm on.
People, hey, what's up?
Hey, what's up? Thanks for having me here.
Yeah, what's going on?
Yeah,
I want to ask you. I mean, first give a little introduction, and then I want to actually ask if you have any questions for Umar.
I'm Asad Khan, and I'm from Lahore, Pakistan, and I've been trading since 2017. 6 years in the game till now.
Sheesh, long time. So
Yeah.
you're in Pakistan. So what questions do you have for Umar? I'm sure you've been listening into this. Like, do you have any feedback or questions for him?
Yeah, I've been hearing what Umar has been saying, and I just have the feedback that he's there mentally. I mean, his mental game is strong, and what should be in a trader, it's in him. Like whatever he said, psychology is the main thing in trading. It's not the system, or it's not the analysis that you're doing on the chart. It's all about the psychology and the mindset that you bring to the desk. So yeah, I agree 100% with whatever Umar has said.
Yeah. And I think that it's amazing. I mean, you're in Pakistan, he's in the UK, I'm over in Florida. Anna, I don't know if you're in Paris right now or where you're at, but you're from Sweden. Like we are literally all over the world.
Yeah.
And,
yeah.
And all of us think very similarly, right? Like obviously everyone's at certain levels in this little journey that we're on, but everyone in here has a very similar mentality or is striving to have the same mentality that the top performers are having. And it's like not bullshit. Like it's an actual intention of everyone in here. And I just think, that's something that should be celebrated. And I think it's amazing. And that's ultimately what my goal originally on starting all this shit was, to create this community so I can meet other people that is like that. So yeah, I just think that's like fucking amazing.
It's amazing.
Add more. We've got another guy on here as well, market investment. You see if your audio is working. I know you were messaging me trying to get it to work. Sound went terrible. He said it sounds bad. So we're gonna wait for him. We're gonna try to bring him on. Anyone else that wants to come on and talk? I had a bunch of people messaging me. At this point, I can't even look at the DMs. If you guys want to talk, if you got emailed by me, you're a funded trader, you want to come on, feel free to ping in the message. What we're gonna do is we're gonna do a kind of like a little rapid fire here. We're just gonna pull some questions from the chat, and then I'm gonna have you guys just give like a response, like one or two sentences each. Like we're gonna try to go through things quick. So first question: what is your guys' risk reward ratio normally?
Umar, you're gonna go first, or
Go ahead.
yeah, go ahead. Please go ahead.
So usually for me, it's I risk 1% to 2% usually, but I try to aim for 1% for at least 2.5-3% gain. That's usually my sort of RR when it comes to my setups.
What about you?
So basically, I'm averaging around 1.5% of risk. And so I have basically 3 different types of entry with different risk allocation to them. So, but I average around 1 to 5. Like one position, I'm risking 1%, the other I'm risking 0.5, 1.5, and the other 2%. It all depends on the market conditions and what type of entry I'm taking. So according to that, I allocate my risk to each position.
What about you, Anna?
Me, I have a fixed risk of 0.25%, so I'm risking very little. When it comes to risk to reward, my average is 2.5, but it's because sometimes I'm taking partials and then it comes and takes me to break even. But I usually aim to take trades that are from 1 to 3 to above.
I saw in the chat somebody was like 200 RR trades only or something.
Yeah, in your dreams, mate.
That's crazy. That's really difficult to maintain, actually. You're going to get those trades like 1 in 50 trades.
So this is another thing I wanted to say as well, right? So once I realized how to really keep a funded account and consistently make payouts on it, I realized that you can't swing really. You can't. I mean, Angelo, last year when you had that account where the drawdown was from balance, I think that would have been perfect for actually real swinging, right?
Yeah.
But now that's why I've sort of changed my approach a bit in terms of where, yes, I'm a day trader, but I scalp a lot more than I ever used to. So remember I said 3 years ago, I used to swing trade only. Now I've come to the place where I'm more of a scalper just because of the conditions, the rules that we have with the account. So of course, keep your account, stick to the rules. You have to adapt accordingly, right?
Now, you said that you trade, you have a few different accounts, a few different prop firms. Do you trade each account differently, or do you just connect them all on a trade copier and just, copy them all?
Yeah, so I've never used a trade copier as of yet, but it is something I think I might start using very soon. Every account I have, I approach differently. So it takes up a lot more time, to be honest, because a lot of people do just use copiers, right? It's easier. But for me, so for example, with this 250K account that I have with TFT, it's a very conservative account where I'm happy with, a few percent a month or whatever it may be, 5% a month, right? Whereas with another prop firm, I have a more aggressive account. So I really tailor them differently depending on the account size, but also depending on the type of account as well. So yeah, definitely differently for each account.
What about you, AA?
I've been trading my personal account like since 2019. The first 2 years I spent learning all about trading that I could. But since COVID, I actually found out all about the prop firms, and then decided it's time to scale up and move up the game. And right now I'm managing a 25K account with TFT and currently doing a challenge for the 100K Royal account.
All right, moving on to the next question. This one was asked a bunch. How do you guys know when to stop and take a break when you've been on a winning streak?
Okay, this is a good one. I think there's one saying that I live by, right? Not everyone will understand it, but if you do, then fantastic. Less is more. That's a saying I say to a lot of people. So let's say I've hit 5% on an account, right? And I've still got, I don't know, a week to wait for payout or even a month, whatever it may be. For me, I say, okay, less is more. I'm not going to be greedy. I've had a good amount of profit on this account. Delete the account from my MetaTrader until payout. That's it. Understand that you can, as easy as or as hard as it was to make this percentage that you made on the account, you can lose it the same day or next day if you carry on. So remember, less is more.
I totally agree on that. And I think it's good to have like different accounts and have targets. Let's say if to have a target to make like 4% or 5% or 3%, whatever your target is for one account, and then stop trading on this account and then go to another account until you receive the payout from the first account.
Exactly.
What about you, AA?
I actually have a fixed plan that I never deviate from actually, and I don't just look at the drawdowns or the winning streaks. I just go on with my plan. Basically, I'm as robotic as I can. I I don't let my conscious mind interfere when I'm trading, when I'm on my desk. All the work, all the thinking that I've done, it's already been done on the drawing board or when I'm backtesting or planning my system. So I don't really look at the drawdowns or the winning streaks. I just stick to my plan. I just take trades back to back, whatever my system allows me to, and yeah, I just come out profitable every month, basically.
What's so to give people more context, you currently have a funded account?
Yeah, I have a funded account right now, and I am currently trading a challenge account as well, up around 2% on the 100K.
Nice.
And I also trade a personal account as well.
So getting into, you guys have obviously put in a lot of hard work to get to where you're at right now. How did you feel when you quote unquote made it to where you're at now? And I mean, maybe you don't feel like you've made it yet, or that's not part of your psychological structure. But yeah, how do you guys feel now that you've had some success?
Yeah. So
should I go for this?
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, Angelo, this question is really interesting because whenever anyone starts, basically when I started trading or when I came to know about trading, I thought that it's a milestone that I need to get that once I make a certain amount, I'll be successful. But as time goes on and as you keep learning and as you move up the mental game, and that's when you know that there's no milestone in this. There's no like a point to reach. There's always possible growth that you can always improve basically. So for me, it has never been a made it, but in retrospect I can see that I've changed a lot and I'm now earning amounts or whatever, but there's no like I made it. At every point of instance, I believe that I can improve more and I can move further ahead.
What about you, Umar?
Yeah, I think I'm in agreement with Asif. And just to add to it, I don't think I'd ever have the mindset of, yeah, I made it or I made this or that. I just see it as growth. Everything to me is growth. So, for example, where I was 6 months ago, I'm in a completely different place now. I get messages all the time that, oh, you're this, you're that. Like some people say, oh, thank you for the motivation. Thank you for inspiring me. And I love that stuff. But I still don't tell myself I've made it. I said I'm doing my job. That's how I see it, So for me, everything is about growth, just continuous growth and evolving, just not just in trading, but out of trading too, right? Because what a lot of people don't realize is that trading helps you become the person you need to become in your life as well as an individual. Trading is not just about making money.
I agree. Any comments from you, Anna?
Yeah, I can't agree more with that. That's what I love mostly with trading. It's the personal growth and development is trading gives you potential that no other profession, in my opinion, gives you when it comes to self-growth, understanding who you are, and becoming a better person every single day. It teaches us patience. It teaches us so many things.
I'll comment on this as well. For me, there definitely was. I mean, it really comes down to when you're saying, did you make it? Are you talking about a monetary goal, a spiritual goal, a physical goal? For me, when I hit some of my financial goals that allowed me to have more freedom, I felt excited about it. But at the same time, it started to occur to me that life is very long and life is this constant pursuit of our goals, of our purpose. And I kind of told myself, unless I'm going to retire at 27, right, I'm going to continue to be in business, in trading, in the game of life, right? And so it's really just what's the next goal? What's the next thing to pursue? What's my purpose? So it always comes back to that. So anyone in here that's like, oh, I'm going to get a prop firm when I hit six figures, like the door's going to open in my room to a portal of a life that I wish I was in now. Like that's certainly not going to be the case. You're going to have more pleasures when you have more money. You're going to have more freedom for sure. Maybe access to more people, right? But it's still just what's your mentality, what's your purpose? What are you after? What are your goals? So don't lose sight of that. Like live in reality. So getting into the next question, tell us about the hardest period in your trading and how you coped with it. We'll go AA, you can go first.
I would say that I was stuck in a loophole, basically. And when I tried to learn all the different types of strategies that were online for free, I never bought any course. So I was just looking for free information and I got loads of them. And it was like really exhausting mentally. And at the end, what I realized was, now this is going to sound really philosophical, or that the secret to trading is not in the strategy, but it's in yourself, it's in your mind. You have to build the foundation and work on your psychology, your mindset to be a profitable trader, basically, any strategy. So yeah, that's when yeah, I was basically like stuck in a loophole when I was going through different strategies. Yeah.
Yeah, I think mindset sort of goes hand in hand with the strategy, in my opinion. The reason I say that is because your mindset sort of determines your strategy in a way, right? So I think, yeah, that's key. But to the question, I think for me, the hardest time or the hardest obstacle I had to overcome was probably about a year or a year and a half into my journey, and I lost a ton of money. I didn't know what was working and what wasn't. So it was really about reevaluating, that accountability piece that I mentioned earlier, and just sort of just rewiring whatever I thought I had learned earlier to really make it simple. I just made my trading very simple. Before I used to have all these different indicators, and I'm like, what the hell is going on here? Now I barely use indicators. I keep my trading very simple and concise at all times.
What about you, Anna?
I would say it's kind of similar for me. The hardest part was to find what works and what doesn't work, and kind of get the real picture of trading. Because I've been part of different communities, I've bought many courses, and I've been in a course where the mentors were not real mentors and were putting a bad mindset and bad habits. They kind of forced me into bad habits. The good thing is that I was self-aware, and at the beginning, when they have been, I tried to just follow them and do what they taught me to do. But after some time, I was just realizing that things are not wrong. I felt that something is wrong and it can't be done the way I was doing it. Even though I had good results with the strategy that they taught, the mental part that they tried to force into my trading was something that I didn't like. And I was almost getting close to a burnout because of it. And the problem was when I openly tried to talk to the mentors of the course about that issue, they kind of tried to say, it's something wrong with you. Nothing is wrong with our style of teaching or what we do here. So this was kind of a really hard moment for me because I gave so much money, like I spent so much money for courses, and this was the most expensive course that I purchased. And I was like, should I listen to my gut or should I listen to them? That was kind of really hard for me and then afterwards I just decided to listen to myself and left this community and then focused on myself. But this was I think the hardest moment in my trading journey, because that's why it's important to kind of close yourself and analyze yourself and understand who you are. But before doing that, you have to like know the real picture of trading, that it's not about the holy grail strategy, but it's about finding something that works, but adapting it according to the personality you have and what suits you, what you feel comfortable with.
100%, and eliminating all of that noise that you mentioned, right? Basically noise.
Yeah. And the problem is that when you don't have like a lot of experience and someone is claiming that they have made a lot of money and they have had like a crazy success, then you're like, should I really listen to my gut or should I listen to them because they have proved? But after some time, I just realized that lots of these like fake proved success, it's a fake proof success, it's not success. And that's why I just decided leave everything and focus on yourself. And that's when I saw the change, and when I saw like that things are going better. And I just felt because I'm journaling everything and I'm journaling my feelings. So at the end of the week, I kind of like do evaluation. At the end of the month, I do evaluation. And I realized that when I stopped looking at what people are writing in different communities and what others are doing or saying, or let's say friends that I have that are into trading, they are taking trades every single day and I haven't taken a trade for a couple of days. When I stopped paying attention to such kind of things, that's when I get to the next level. Before that, I was like, if a friend sends me a good trade and he has made like 5 RR or 9 RR or 8 RR, and then the next day new trade with 3 RR, and like then before I used to like, oh, I'm not making money, let me like try to find a trade, let me try to find something, but I was just messing it up. When I closed, now I'm like taking 1 to 2 trades a week. Sometimes I'm not even taking 1 trade per week, but I'm fine. I feel amazing and I'm doing good. Before, I was letting others to impact my mindset and kind of force trades and do stupid things and not follow my rules. So according to me, a tip to everyone is just don't pay attention to others. Don't try to compare yourself with others, and don't think that if someone is posting good results that they really have those results and you have to listen to what they are saying to you. You just have to find what suits you and and find your own edge, because if something works for someone else, it doesn't mean that it's going to work for you.
100%.
So we've got Market Investment Kings. It looks like you've got the audio worked out. You want to try to give it a try? You might still be on mute. Just send me a message. So we're gonna wrap it up. We've got about 10 minutes left. I gotta get into. You gotta start doing some work for the day. So we've got a few questions left. This one's kind of like a personal question. If you were sitting in the audience listening right now, what would you tell yourself as advice? We'll go with Umar first.
So if I was sitting as an audience in this call right now,
yeah,
well, I would be noting down any gems that were dropped for sure when it comes to stuff we've spoken about in terms of mindset. Because honestly, I can't emphasize enough on mindset. Like mindset, psychology, these are the real winners. These are the real winners. Focusing on that, but also just listening in on everyone's sort of own journey. Like Anna has a different journey. Asif has a different journey. I have a different journey, and sort of seeing if that resonates with you or not. If it does, then even better, because then, you'll be able to understand, okay, where can I sort of make changes? If it doesn't, it's still something to learn from, right? So I think I'd definitely be taking notes on certain points.
What about you, A?
Definitely what Umar just said. Like, mindset is the main thing in this game. And I would like to make it easier for the audience to really understand what we mean by psychology and mindset. And basically, psychology, a good psychology means that you know what you're doing. You know your mind is at ease. You're not conflicted internally. And that ease of thinking and that calmness in your mind or psychology, it comes by knowing your environment or by knowing what you're doing. And the way you can know what you're doing is by backtesting, by working on yourself. The reason Anna was just talking about like trading other system and those not working for her was basically the reason was other strategy does not work for you. The reason is that it's not tailor built for you. You're not resonating with that strategy. You don't fully trust it. Then when you apply that strategy to trade, you don't really trust that strategy. You don't have a relationship with that system. So you just can't blindly trade that system. So after a series of drawdown, you panic, you start breaking rules, hence you blow your account. So having a strong psychology means you know what you're doing. You have a trusted, back-tested system by yourself, tailor built for you, by you. And yeah, I would work on that if I was in the audience right now.
Yes, and for example, you might have good results for because I was catching good pips, but I wasn't feeling comfortable with it, and I knew that this is not gonna last long term. So it's definitely like finding what suits you and what you find. I didn't find logic behind like placing the stop loss according to the rules that they gave to me. So it's like you have to definitely like understand why you're doing certain things in order to be able to feel comfortable with them, and of course know the statistics for the edge you have.
So do you guys feel, we'll go each of you guys, do you feel like you've reached your peak, or at any moment in your journey there has been a peak that you've reached and you're trying to get back to that? We'll go to Omar first.
Reach my peak in terms of like growth wise?
Yeah, in terms of just overall performance.
Yeah, I think at the moment I'm at my peak, if I'm honest. Yeah, that's how I feel. But I always feel like I'm only going to keep improving. So I don't look back too much. I just feel like forever evolving and having that growth, I feel like is the key in anything that you do, not just trading, but in anything that you do, right?
It's a good response. I like that response. What about you, AA?
So I agree with Omar. So basically, you to be a good trader, like what I experienced was, when I entered into trading, I just thought that it's buying or selling low, making loads of money and all that. I was reckless in many other parts of my life. But what really trading is realizing who you are, working on your like the bad stuff, or you could say that you could what the things that you could improve, working on them, working on yourself. That's the key to success, and keeping that mindset of growth that you could always improve and having no cap over your growth is the way in every field of like work. And yeah, just keep growing.
What about you, Anna?
I wouldn't say I've had a peak. I totally agree about like growing and improving on a daily basis. So for me, I think that like in general, everything in life is about trying to be better than yesterday, and it's the same for trading. You are always going to have something to work on in your mental game. So yeah, it's about finding ways to just be better than yesterday, and also to accept that we are human beings and we are allowed to make mistakes. And I want to like share with everyone that they shouldn't think that if someone has shown results that they are not making mistakes and they are perfect. We're all making mistakes, and it's important to accept that we are human beings and we are going to make mistakes, but to try to learn from those mistakes and be better tomorrow. So don't beat yourself if you're making a mistake. Everyone is making a mistake. Sometimes we might like not be concentrated and take a trade that doesn't have all the confluences that we want to see, and then you realize it afterwards, it's not a big deal. Like, as long as you're sticking to your risk management, you can make it up. Many people are just thinking that, or actually, I can share. I have an accountability partner for trading, and I'm sharing my analysis with him every single morning. I'm telling to him my trading plan for the day, and he does the same. And what I noticed with him, he was kind of like beating himself if he made a mistake or if something went wrong and he lost control, and instead of risking, for example, 0.5%, he risked 1%. It's important to understand that in this tough game, we are going to make mistakes, but we should not let those mistakes impact our next decision. We just have to
100%.
accept them and learn from them and continue, instead of like thinking of, oh, what did I do? How could I do that? I did it. It was not good. Let me think how I can improve and not to do it next time. Something that helped me to not to repeat same mistakes is journaling. And that's why I journal, and I'm always curious to know if other people are doing it. So I'm journaling my emotions, and I take some deep breaths, and then I write, okay, I feel at the moment like this, I feel that. And I have noticed similar patterns to like in my emotions when I do mistakes due to lack of concentration or something similar. So yeah, it can be a tip for people to try it out. Maybe it's going to work for them as well.
100%. And just to add to that, so, in terms of L's, everyone takes L's, but what I, define L's to be are lessons, right? So yes, okay, everyone takes losses, but every loss should be a lesson, as well as every win should be a learning curve for you, right? So it's okay to take losses. Don't look at how much money people are making, because first of all, when you're trading, you should be counting percentages. You should be looking at percentages, not real figures. Because if you can get 5% on a 1K account, you can do that on a 100K account, 5%, because you're looking at percentages, you're not looking at figures. So I think that's one thing that's really important to take into consideration.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and people should also know that losses are not bad. Like losses are part of the game, and it's better to have a loss that losing trade that is fulfilling all the confluences that you need to see to take the trade, instead of taking a win that was not fulfilling the confluences that you wanted to see, but you are up on your account. So this is something that, according to me, is very important to understand, because many people think that, okay, as long as I'm in profit, it's totally fine, even if I violate my rules some days. No, it won't work long term if you have such kind of mindset and if you think that way.
Stick to your rules equals longevity, basically.
Yeah, I think that like you guys said, it's all interesting. The losses mean that you're active. It means that you're participating. It means that you're trying something, right? So if you're not taking losses or you're not experiencing failure, that simply means that your level of effort is not high. Like, you're not taking risks. Like, you're not in the game. Like, me more than anyone else takes the biggest losses, I'll tell you right now. And at the end of the day, those losses are part of, the things that I'm trying to accomplish, the businesses I'm trying to create. And I don't get discouraged through those losses, because I just realized that entrepreneurship, trading, it's a matter of throwing darts. Like, we're all throwing darts at a board. One of the darts will stay in the air longer than the others. Some of them will hit the wall. Some of them won't reach the target. Some of them will hit bullseye, right? So you got to just stay in the game, keep playing. It's the only way to win. And yeah, so listen, it's been a fun session. It's been about an hour and a half. I really appreciate all you guys hopping on. One last thing, just real quick from each of you. What are your goals for the rest of 2023? Omar, go first.
Yeah, so for me, it was a million in funding, which looks to be the case in the next couple of weeks, if not less. I'd say now, changing my goals very last minute, probably 2 million in funding.
What about you, A?
Trying to be funded, like max funded with TFT this year. That's my plan. Yeah.
What about you, Anna?
500,000 funded, stay consistent, and start making impact through social media and help other people.
All right, guys, I really appreciate each of you hopping on. This was another amazing session. And Omar, thanks for waiting to hop on, because I know we were trying to get the session on for a while. There was one last question that people had. What are the new things to expect from TFT in 2023? I think everyone inside of the call really wants TFT to improve the spreads, have more reliability of the server. So that's the main thing that I'm focused on right now. I've sent some hints about what we're doing around the spreads, the commissions, the new broker, and stuff like that. So look out for that in 2023, along with some other amazing things that we're all working on. So guys, really appreciate you hopping on. Everyone in the chat, enjoy the Wednesday, enjoy the rest of the week, and best of luck to you guys getting funded. I'll see you on the next session.